Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive. Hiya kids, we're back once again to tell you a story. Part of an ongoing story about memorable characters, long-lasting life lessons, all coated with just enough magic and wonder to keep you coming back. And to tell you this week's story, we started like any famous tale, with the words, "Once upon a time."
Frozen. Over. Bam! Yeah! Welcome back! Finally we're getting back into the Once Upon a Time recaps. Oh boy, BlueDragonFive, it's been a long couple weeks in terms of like trying to get back on schedule, hasn't it?
Yep.
So, I've got some good news. The good news is that my backup computer, the one that I actually sent in, has gotten back and it works beautifully. It's like brand new. And so, I should be able to do everything now. Like, we are fully a go. We are fully functioning again. I'm stoked about that.
Star Wars, we are fully operational.
Yes, indeed. So, so we had a couple, we had a bumpy week and a half. We're still trying to catch ourselves up, but hopefully after tonight, we will be completely caught up with the shows that we're recapping and able to move forward and do a ton of fun stuff for you guys. So, with that in mind, we are recapping episode 3 of Once Upon a Time, entitled Rocket Road. Yeah, indeed. Clever title. All right, so
before we get into the actual recap, we actually had some interesting findings in the meantime, and before we actually get into those findings, let's just make this clear, because as always, going into these, Tiki and I were newcomers to this wondrous world of Once Upon a Time. It seems interesting, a little involved, a little heroes-like, but that shouldn't stop anyone from checking this show out. So far, seems very promising. Just a few episodes in, as we were right, we're literally 3 episodes in. We're pretty much hooked on this thing so far.
Honestly, the deeper I get into it, the more I do actually kind of want to go back and rewatch some of it. I am getting invested in a couple of these characters.
Pretty much, aside from a few
stuff.
Certainly, aside from a few guideline specials, a few quick recap summaries. We're falling off the plane, constructing the parachute on the way down, going into this. So we're going to be lost on a few things, folks. And we so just have a general direction. All we know is we're falling down. So it's your job to help us out here. If we screw anything up, if we get something wrong, if we say we're pretty much going with our guts here and what we can see on the screen. We're going into this completely fresh, as I imagine many viewers are, but still, folks, if you're any diehard fans in the audience, don't lynch us. Help us out, please. Just, leave in the comments any helpful hints, anything you want us to bring up, we got wrong, you want us to fix, something to help us out, help us learn more about this very immersive universe. And, for doing that, we'll reward you. You mention something, you help us out, we'll mention your name and thank you profusely, as we will.
Yeah, we had, we have a full section devoted to it. So far, we've only got one person in that Hall of Fame, and that is, I guess I'll mention him again, Stan the Imagineer, who pointed out that,
it was Thomas the Imagineer.
Oh, Thomas the Imagineer, I'm sorry. I literally got the name Stan off of the, frickin' last
Gotham.
Wow. Well done. Well done. All right,
so the point is, folks, help us out. We'd be more than happy.
Yeah. But, no, I just wanted to say, because Thomas the Imagineer, he pointed out that Hook has the nickname Crocodile for
Rumpelstiltskin.
So, yeah, right on. So we'll continue to give Thomas the Imagineer credit because no one else helped us out this episode. So, help us out, folks. Be great. Because I know we are messing stuff up. I know it. I just know it.
Yeah, because, again, we're going into this pretty much, we just have the guidelines, just few assumptions here, and then pretty much just going what we know the generic the skeletal structure of the show and some of the events, but we're not fully educated in the matter. So again, folks, by all means,
there was that big mystery of like, who the hell is David?
And yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a good sign, though, if we don't get a lot of people floating, because it kind of tells us that we're not doing too bad a job for people. We don't hear like a huge outcry yet, so that's kind of we might not be as far off as we think. So at least yet. That's probably soon to come. Especially when they start doing the heart thing, as they're about to do.
Heart.
But we'll get into that anyway. So without further ado, let's get into recaps. As we always do, we break this down.
Then you want to bring up the actors that we discovered.
Certainly. So we found out some things about the actors. Tiki, you go first. What did you find about one of the actors on the show?
Okay, BlueDragonFive. I am kind of shocked that I did not notice this at the end of at the end of episode 2, right?
Yeah, Whiteout, I think.
Whiteout. And it was a very fun scene. It involved Grumpy. That is easily becoming my favorite character on the show. He is delightful. I'm sure we'll talk about him a little bit in this episode. But it involved the Snow Queen, and the Snow Queen is just a lolly jolly ice cream maker, just running an ice cream shop. And like I said, I'm shocked that I didn't notice who this was, because it is none other than Elizabeth Mitchell, a.k.a. Juliet Burke from Lost. Now, BlueDragonFive, I know you don't watch Lost, so I won't get too into it at all. But let me just tell you, Juliet Burke is one of the coolest characters on Lost, just hands down. She is just like, her whole role was kind of like being the person who was in between the survivors and the others, and kind of like she had a lot of intriguing stuff going on there. You never knew exactly what side she was on. So I think that kind of fits right in with her role here, because, with the Snow Queen, we know that she's definitely dangerous. We know that but we also know that she can help people, so it's really interesting. I'm digging it. I love the fact that Elizabeth Mitchell is on the show, and I really enjoy her work on Lost, and can't wait to see more of her here.
Well, actually, Tiki, I'm glad you brought that up, because I did a little, a quick glimpse of research, and I found that apparently the show has a lot of Lost references in it.
Does it? Well, I'm not surprised.
Well, it has literally Lost Easter eggs to the show. So I don't know whether people on this show worked on Lost or not. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Did work on shit. Yeah.
So again, we're novice going into this. So if we're literally finding these names, some people are probably rolling their eyes and say, how did they not know this? So forget us, folks. We're going into this fresh.
No, I'm just saying Elizabeth Mitchell. She's a new cast member for season 4. I'm assuming. So.
Certainly.
It's cool just working in the Lost stuff. I could say Elizabeth Mitchell is about as far away more useful than Emily D. Ravine, who plays Belle on this show, was on Lost. So, yeah.
Actually, I found out 2 things just real quick. So you're doing a quick bit of research, and I found that
research time.
Research all the way. One of my kind of new favorite characters on the show, David, Prince Charming. I found out that he, in fact, he's been in a Marvel film.
Has he really?
Yeah, he was the original Fandral. Now, interestingly enough, Fandral originally in Thor, the first movie, he's played by the actor who plays Prince Charming, and in the sequel, because this actor was started to get involved in Once Upon a Time after that movie, Zachary Levi, who I'm sure you remember from Tangled as Flynn Rider. He's the new Fandral. So because they wanted him originally, but he was busy with others. He was busy with Chuck. It's kind of a funny way the world works. But yeah, so we got 2 great actors playing Fandral, and one of them happens to be in this show.
And I'm glad you brought up Charming, because he's definitely starting to grow on me as well. Like, of course, after the whole last episode conundrum of who's David? It's like, how can you forget him?
Okay, thing is, it wasn't that big a mystery. It was a momentary lapse.
Oh, actually, it was kind of a big mystery for me, because I was kind of still going the full episode like, I'm supposed to know who this is, and I don't, because he looks different than he does in the present. He's got long hair. So it literally wasn't until he was like, oh, I know who Anna was. She visited me at my farm. I was like, oh, that's David. Okay, cool. Got it.
All right. The other quick thing, this one's really quick. I found out that apparently the wonderful actress that plays Elsa, she was considered, she was in the running to play Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, so she was in the run before Emma Stone came along. I guess the chemistry really kind of confirmed Emma Stone in the role, but yeah, she could have been.
Yeah, Emma Stone, it's hard to say no to her. It's hard to picture anyone else but Emma Stone in that role at that point, but I don't know. That would have been a good casting call, too. I definitely would have been against it. She has the look, for sure.
Anyway, so stalling aside, we're going to break this down as we usually do. past and present. We're going to start with
so
present.
You say we're stalling.
Yes, Tiki, we're stalling.
Okay, so all this research stuff is stalling?
Yes, it's stalling. Okay, SpongeBob references aside, let's get into it. Okay, so just real quick, previously, just to kind of catch people up, so Elsa has now met Emma and has befriended her. You know, she's with the cause now. She's got past like the whole introductions. After freezing the town, town's been frozen solid. She can't unfreeze it because of the this mysterious Ice Queen. So the Snow Queen. I might say Ice Queen occasionally because I forget because I keep thinking Elsa's technically the Snow Queen, all that stuff. So essentially, there's another Snow Queen, and she's keeping that ice wall up, which is a problem for the town. It's been cut off. It's almost like a no man's land situation, just not really that dire yet.
It's under the dome.
Well, I guess that's more of the case. Anyways, and meanwhile, back in the past, Anna is she's still AWOL. You know, she's looking for still AWOL, looking for answers. And the big plot thing is that we find out that Rumpel has switched the dagger that controls him.
Indeed.
So Belle thinks that she can completely trust him because she has the dagger that controls him. So really, if he gets out of hand, she can control him. But really, she doesn't. It's a fake. He's keeping a secret from her. Okay, that's it. You're caught up. So let's get into it. So let's start with the present here. Take us through the present.
Okay, the present. So let's see what's going on. So Robin Hood and Maid Marian and the son that I do not know the name of.
Neither do I, so don't feel bad. Again, okay. Folks, help us in the comments.
Good job.
Again, folks, step in, help us in the comments.
5 seconds into the recap. All right, so yeah, Robin Hood's son. That'd be nice to know. So yeah, they're taking her around, and then the son really wants ice cream, and then Robin Hood's like, well, no, your mother, she's been through a lot. Let's go home, and then the son says something that really gets under both of their skin, and he's like, well, Regina always took us for ice cream.
He doesn't say it with malice, though. He doesn't say it with
doesn't, but it's still just like, I don't know. So then we go to the ice cream shop, and Juliet Burke is hanging out. Yay, the Snow Queen herself. But they don't know that yet. And what do you think of this whole encounter that they have? Isn't it like it's delicious, isn't it?
Literally.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I don't know what it is just about the ice cream on this TV show. It looks really tasty.
Oh, it really does. Yeah.
I don't know, even the last episode is like putting their finger in the ice cream. It's really tasty. I don't know. It looks real creamy, like soft servy almost.
What do you think of like a Once Upon a Time themed land in Disneyland? You know, a Storybook in Disneyland, and like the main feature is just like the ice cream parlor.
Well, it's something funny. I discovered this in this episode, so I can't really name the ones in the previous two. But there's a really neat thing they do, apparently. In the opening, when the title comes up, like Once Upon a Time, you'll notice in the background something that relates to the episode, thematically relates to the episode, is in like the background under the title. So in this case, it was the ice cream shop said Any Given Sunday, which is a really creative name.
Any Given Sunday.
So it's a neat little running gag. Like they have a little reference to the episode within the title.
Yeah, then the next episode we have, of course, the
broom.
The Asia broom, which is awesome. We'll talk about that.
Anyway, so the point is, we have the Snow Queen. I love how nice the Snow Queen seems. Just making ice cream. She seems really friendly. I love that face she puts on. That kind
of. Yeah. She's just like, oh, there's your son.
Like and she's really
dashing Robin Hood. Oh, and the beautiful Maid Marian. I don't think I've met yet. Here, let me give you an ice cream. You've been through a lot. Oh, here, but I'm going to sprinkle a little magic on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the ending of our last episode. She seemed really pleasant and grumpy, and she seems really pleasant. Like she's talking to the kid, gives him some ice cream, and she gives Marion some ice cream, and they had some funny banter. Basically, Marion saying that, oh yeah, the ice cream like we had, the stuff we had back in the day would be like this thing would be made out of mud and dirt.
Mud and dirt. Yes.
Yeah, fun little gay. And anyway, so Snow Queen adds a little mysterious topping to Marion's ice cream, and they play some sinister music. As you can tell, she's putting a little magic spell on, and then they're out, and then we're on to our next scene.
All right, and our next scene is
we're at the pawn shop.
Yeah, hanging out at the pawn shop. Okay, so Elsa, Swan, and Hook, they are talking to Rumpelstiltskin. They are trying to get answers. And Rumpelstiltskin, he does not know anything about Anna. Or at least that's what he's claiming. So,
under oath, under the daggery oath, which we know is bunk.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Again, clever plan for Rump, by the way. Just like he says, well, you want to see if I'm lying? Well, have Bell test. Oh, it's not necessary, Rump. Please, just to prove it.
And hey, guess what? Guess what, BlueDragonFive?
Yes. What?
Another opportunity for Emily D. Ravine to just stand around awkwardly and be useless in the scene. Yay! Seriously, I've not seen Belle bring one thing to this show so far.
Well, she danced in like the Beauty and the Beast thing in the first episode.
Oh, wow, she danced for one scene. 20 seconds. Good for her. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I guess I'm nice to her because it's the first time I've ever seen her. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You're nice to her because you haven't been through 6 seasons of Lost with her like I have.
So far, she just seems like classic loving wife I've only seen in like one episode.
Not bad. Okay. Well, anyways, moving on.
Anyway, so they ask Rump. The main thing they asked Rump before then is like why Elsa was in the urn. They're like in the little bottle thing she appeared in. Mm-hmm. And Rump says he has no idea how she got there. It was his. He basically confirms, yeah, it was his, but I mean, it was like that years ago. I don't know what's in there. And he basically put the lie detector test through the dagger, saying, you will tell me all you know, and of course, because he knows something, but he switched the daggers. They can't get a clear answer. He says, I told you the truth, essentially, is what he says. So no, they got no answers, and it's very convincing. It's convincing in any way, so, however, Hook has a suspicion. Hook's raising an eyebrow at this. He was a little too willing to have the dagger be used to prove he's telling the truth. Anyway, they got no answers, they're on to the next scene, essentially, if I'm right.
Okay, and then isn't this where the flashback happens?
Well, yeah, but, flashbacks are... Well, again, something we'll probably mention in each episode.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You see, I don't have notes. You have to...
Something to mention just in general for this also is like the Flashes, we only really need we break this down present and past because the Flash is so well integrated and we're just kind of trying to cut out a little time, but sometimes it can be pointless with us. But basically just take our word for it that these are well integrated like Saving Mr. Banks. Just take our word for it. They do thematically tie in well. And
okay,
well
so then the next scene would be Snow White at City Hall, right? Okay,
yeah,
so
the meeting.
So this is a fun scene. We have Snow White. She's cradling the baby. Charming comes in. He's like, oh, do you need help? Snow's like, no, I can handle it. I really do like the relationship that Charming and Snow have. I'm really starting to get into it. Kind of one of the many things that makes me want to go back and actually rewatch this show sometime.
When I hear the first season, again, mind you, this whole world's kind of predicated on their fairy tale, and I guess it's why she's there. And the thing is, the other thing, is that the first season is predicated on these two getting together because they have like a whole amnesia plot line, I believe, in the first season.
Snow White, I have amnesia.
Anyway, so Snow White's the new mayor, and she's holding the town meeting to kind of rest assure everybody because there's a lot of paranoia going around about it. Basically, we had a nice wall up, so obviously people are panicking about that, and they ask. Basically, why isn't Elsa put the thing down? Because she can't. Then they're paranoid. Oh, wait, Elsa, she's evil. She froze my truck. No, come on, it was an accident.
I love Grumpy.
Little Grumpy. Yeah, Grumpy is fun.
No, seriously, like, Grumpy is, like, one of the characters that I have, like, seriously just attached myself to at this point. Like, every time he speaks, it's just, like, even if he's being a complete jerk, it's funny. He's really lovable, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, we see. I found out who the diner owner is. She's Granny, so I'm assuming Granny from Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, okay.
The person that owns the diner, it's called Granny's Diner, so I'm assuming Granny from the Little Red Riding Hood. That's my assumption. I could be wrong, folks. Correct me in the comments.
All right, well, we'll go for that for now. So
anyway, so what happens in this scene after people are starting to get paranoid about Elsa? And basically they say, Elsa's fine, she's on her side now, she's looking for her sister, and people are still skeptical about it. And in the chaos, what happens?
Well, amidst all the chaos, Marion, who's, just kind of standing up, trying to take it all in with Robin, she faints, and this, of course, causes even more chaos, and everyone starts scrambling. And who do they need to call out for? They need to call out for Regina, who is having Yes. Who is having, in fact, a bonding moment with her son. And you want to go over this bond and stuff because I don't quite get this dynamic, but
Alright, sure. So, okay, remember, kids, that Regina is Henry's mother. She raised him. However, in real life, and this is going to play into our next episode too,
big time, yeah,
is that Henry's parents are Henry's birth parents are Emma and Bellfire. So Bellfire's gone. Bellfire was Rumpelstiltskin's son. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that for sure.
Right. Just want to make that clear. Okay. So basically, his birth parents are Bellfire and Emma Swan. And Regina raised him, so they have the dynamic. And he always sees him basically as two moms, because one that raised him, and he believes there's good in her. And I get that. I like kind of the bond they have here. And I love this little moment. It's kind of like has a double meaning to it that she brings him a stack of comics. Now, how can I not appreciate that sort of thing? Come on.
Of course, you got Thor. That's kind of probably
and Shield.
Clever Disney Ryan.
Yes, and Shield too, especially Shield because they got a show.
Oh God. ABC.
that was a fun nod. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Marvel's trying to get their brand. Of course, they can't get with DC. Anyway.
No. If they had DC, it'd be sacrilege.
Of course. Anyway, so let's see. Regina, she's doing this one to bond with Henry because Henry's whole shtick the last episode was that he wants to be close to the mother, even though the mother's going through some stuff because she's without Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And the main reason she's kind of distancing herself from Henry is because she's plotting to get her own happy ending. And here, this is a really good scene that she. This is a really good moment. I like this. Basically, she's reaching out to Henry. First of all, it's not so much. There might be an underhanded motive here that she's giving her son comics and she's bringing up the fact, these are great, these are ink and pages, but what storybook I'm really interested in, the one you told us about. Remember the one about basically what we are now. Basically, the whole town basically the kid found out the whole place is fairy tales. He's the one that basically shaped the whole town.
Right.
Because he saw the actual storybook and he knew it. And basically, she wants him to say like who wrote the storybook so she can find that guy and make him give her a happy ending. And she cleverly.
Is the idea of the storybook like kind of similar to what they're doing with that book in the new SpongeBob movie?
That I'm not sure because again, the SpongeBob movie still hasn't. I'm still a little vague on the SpongeBob plot.
All right. We'll see. All right.
Point is, what Regina does cleverly here is that she. I really like this in terms of like her plot and some bonding moments with her son here. Is that I don't know how much of it is like sinister plotting and how much of it is like genuinely reaching out to her son, which is so clever about it. I really like that. Is that she's basically saying, I want a happy ending. Basically saying she wants a happy ending. Of course, Henry says, well, of course you do. I mean, you're not. That's a great idea. I mean, you're not evil. You've proven that. So let's get you a happy ending. Okay, we'll look over the book together. We'll find out who. You and I work together. We'll make it Operation Mongoose.
Operation Mongoose. Yeah.
Because I assume. I'm just guessing this, by the way, that Emma basically says, I know it's not going to be as fun as when you work with Emma. Because I assumed that he and Emma would work together, and that was basically their relationship before they found out they were mother and technical son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much they worked together, and I guess they would have fun operation names, is my guess, mind you.
But right, yeah.
It's a cute little moment.
Again, comments, if you want to fill us in on Emma and the kid.
Right, so again, the cute little reference there, I suppose. But anyway, so basically she's going for broke here, saying she wants a happy ending, and Henry's on board for that because he knows there's good in her. He's hoping this will bring out the good in her, most definitely, give her a happy ending because she's without Robin Hood. You got to help her son out. Like, how can she get out of the loophole? Bad guys get a raw deal.
Certainly.
So again, it's a really interesting thing. Again, she's not really lying to the kid, but still you have a motive there. It's selfish motive, but she's trying to make it sound real genuine, which is neat. Because you can tell she has been manipulative, like bringing it up like that. You can tell, like obviously she's brought him comics to manipulate him, but also she's doing it to be nice.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you did mention that it's an interesting kind of dynamic because you're not really sure how much of it is motherly and how much of it is manipulation. So I kind of
she does. Because I think she does love her son, but this is really the motivation to get closer to her son because her son is really an asset right now. It's kind of like what if Walter White truly needed his son to complete one of his drug deals.
Well, I mean, obviously that would never happen, but
I know, obviously that never happened. I'm just like, what if? Like, what if Walt Jr. He really had to get to Walt Jr. to accomplish a big goal.
Oh dear God. Okay, well, anyways, no.
Anyway, so you see what I'm saying? The point is, she's reaching out to him. She's going for broke, and basically they'll work together to get her happy ending. And he's on board. It's a sweet. I gotta say, it's a sweet scene. I like those. You know, like those two guys. I like the dynamic they have. I gotta say.
Yeah, I do too. You know, it's a nice little chemistry they've got going on. It's a cool little subplot. Because
on the whole, I really like the idea that Henry, he finds out who his birth mother is, and he has issues with Regina, but he's given her a second chance, and he's fully embraced that. She's not all that. She raised me, and she's actually a nice person. She just makes bad decisions a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yeah. Good.
Barges in Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
And Maid Marian is, of course, in need of help. So, to the hospital.
Not to the hospital. To the city hall.
Oh, I'm sorry. To City Hall.
You can't fight City Hall.
All right. So Regina, as soon as she walks in, she's instantly criticizing the decor.
Oh, I love that.
I wanted to put my personal touch on it. Well, you succeeded horribly.
I love that, by the way. She's insulting Snow White on redecorating her office.
Oh, yes. It's really fun. All right, so what else is going on?
Well, big thing in the scene, so Regina, essentially, she's brought in to overlook, see if she can help Marion in any way. Because now, mind you, she's, again, Regina, she's just truly what she said to the son. She's looking for a happy ending here, so she's kind of off her revenge quest for Marion. So she truly kind of wants to help her here. Because, Robin Hood wants her to help her, so she's got no qualm in that. Yeah, she realizes my qualm is not with her; it's with just the raw deal of getting this no happy ending business.
If anything, her qualm is definitely with Emma at this point.
Certainly, right now she's just ticked off Emma because you brought her back, and that kind of complicated like an easy out I had.
Right.
But anyway, speaking of that, so she's still got her issues with Emma, but also she's you can tell Regina she's playing the angles as she always does, at least from what I can assume she always does. She tries to blame Elsa right off the start, saying, "Well, what did you do?" And a bunch of Elsa saying, "No, I didn't do this."
Right. Yeah, that was a little bit nasty.
Yeah, because that's what Regina does. She, at her heart, she is kind of she's definitely started as a villain. Again, looking at her history, she started as the evil queen. Literally, her name, Evil Queen. So, evil is kind of in her nature, so she's going to be blaming people, playing the angles.
Cool. Regina Queen.
What?
Is that her name? Is it first name Evil, middle name Regina, last name Queen?
Well, that I don't know.
Okay.
But the point is, she's trying to blame Elsa, and pretty much she gives her diagnostic on Marion. Pretty much she sees they test the whole true love's kiss thing because that worked in Frozen. I love how they bring that into the fact. Well, yeah, it worked in Frozen.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
They tried true love's kiss. It doesn't work. Whether or not that's for actual emotion reasons, but I like the idea that the real reason it's not working is because it's every curse is different.
Right.
Because every curse is going to be a little different than the last. You can't just have an easy out for everything. Learn from the Shrek. Like every Shrek movie, it's always true love's kiss.
Oh my God. Yeah. But it does lead to a lot of interesting things, like a lot of interesting implications, because it's like Robin Hood kisses Marion, it doesn't work. Gasp! Does that mean Robin Hood still has affections for Regina?
Which he does. They confirm that he indeed does, but.
Well, yeah, he does, but
he does, but he's a man of honor. But still, that's not the issue. The issue is it's every curse is different. They make a little offhand reference, saying, "I'm sure there was an episode about that we didn't watch."
Yes.
About yes. And I love this. This is like funny. Like it's almost like a fourth wall joke. It's probably not. It's probably an actual. It's like a fourth wall joke, like King Midas, how the man who could touch everything turned to gold. And said they're basically cutting off, saying it's a long story to Elsa. Wondering.
Okay, I have the name. So again. Anyone watching who wants to comment, get their name on the show, please tell us who Frederick is. That would be wonderful. I'd love to.
Yeah, I have no idea who Frederick is. I assume he's the King Midas. I assume he's the King Midas of the town. That's my guess.
All right. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, someone will comment. But all right. So moving on. What's the next scene?
And also then Regina, by proxy, after blaming Elsa, she implies the blame's on Emma for like being ineffective at her job. Then the plan is to for Hook. Emma's starting to give some instructions here after you place the blame and gets out of there. Says, "Okay, I'll work on a solution in the meantime."
Mm-hmm.
With Robin Hood, I guess. Hook's instructed to hide Elsa because town's going to be in a frenzy after seeing what happened to her, and they're going to give me a frenzy. They're going to want to, I don't want to say they want her blood, but they want to yell at her, maybe mob.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like the town's in like a lynch mob form, pretty much, right? They're getting into a lynch mob during that scene, like as Hook's been instructed to hide Elsa at City Hall or someplace.
And of course, who else but Grumpy is leading the charge?
Of course, and by the way, I love that we get to see a few other characters, and one of them I heard about this guy, and I'm finally glad to see him. Jiminy Cricket.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
really?
So Jiminy Cricket, from what I gather in those recaps, the Jiminy Cricket is he's a town psychologist because he's a conscience. He's the rational guy in the town.
Okay, that makes sense.
I really like that idea, by the way.
Yeah.
So again, Jimmy's trying to play peacemaker, saying, "Oh no, we shouldn't form a lynch mob." Essentially, and unfortunately, it's to no avail because the town's kind of outweighing him on that, and pretty much the Ice Queen.
You got Grumpy at the forefront. You're just not gonna win. Like you're just not gonna not form an angry mob.
Yeah. Then meanwhile, we see they pass the ice cream shop, and the Ice Queen is pleased.
Oh yes, oh yeah. She's just like, good.
Meanwhile, what's happening with meanwhile, Hook and Elsa, what's happening with them?
Okay, so well, first of all, I just have to just comment that I really like this Hook and Elsa dynamic that they've got going on here. What do you think?
Oh, they got a really good character dynamic there. Hook is you're right, Tiki. Hook is a really cool guy.
Yeah. Come on, I knew it from the first episode. He's one of the cooler characters on the show.
He's got a freaking hook for a hand. How can you not be a cool guy?
Again, with the Lost references, I'm sure you're not going to get it, but if I were to compare Hook to any Lost character, I'd definitely compare him to Sawyer. He's like the anti-hero. I really like him after just the 4 episodes I've seen of him. So basically in this scene, this is where they're marking their paths, right? Am I correct?
Well, no, not quite yet. Basically, this is the part where Hook basically tells Elsa, and again, Elsa's character dynamic, that Elsa doesn't want to hide. She doesn't want to hide. And basically, Hook says, essentially they decide to go on a secret mission. They're going to look for some answers. And Hook says, well, that's why we're not going there. Town Hall's wherever they're going to hide her. I think it was Town Hall or something. Well, luckily that's basically, yeah, we passed it. It's down that way. That's why we're not going there. We're going to get some answers.
Yeah.
So again, Hook's basically playing straight with her, basically saying, hey, listen, yeah, we're going to get some answers. I'm helping you out here. So that's why we're not doing what you think I'm doing. Essentially, basically, he's working with her. He's working with her, which is really interesting given where our flashback relates to.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
A character that Elsa at first, and it's not really explored too much here because it's not much time has passed. Basically saying, she's not a church.
You're absolutely right. There's totally a parallel going on, and I really like it even more for that.
Oh yeah, because basically Elsa, she's working with someone who she thinks, I'm not going to get along with this guy, and pretty much says, oh wait, he's on my side. Okay, let's go. Let's look for some team up. It's a really good team up. They're on a secret mission. Okay. Meanwhile, what's happening with one of my favorite characters in the meantime?
What's happening with David?
Yeah, David and Emma. What's happening with those guys?
Oh, David and Emma, they are investigating. What are they doing? Are they going after the Snow Queen at this point?
Well, they're going to look for clues in the forest, and I assume, and I could be wrong here, I'm assuming they're going to the Snow Golem scene from the first episode, because that's where they looking for like clues of where the magic might have happened, where it might have hit her. Right. Regardless, they're going into the forest. I don't know why in this particular section they're going into the forest to look for some clues, looking for some cold clues, like where she might have been infected.
And they come upon a very, very sketchy-looking character. He's what's he doing? Is he
He's a merryman.
Oh,
he's one of Robin. Yeah, he's one of Robin Hood's merrymen.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, thank you. You caught that.
I don't know his actual name. I just keep referring to him as Merryman.
Merryman, the singular Merryman.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And I gotta tell you, I like this Merriman. He seems to be coming back a few times. I like him.
yeah, it's interesting. God, again, with Lost, he totally reminds me of Charlie, but that's a whole different thing. I need to learn to not make Lost references. But, yeah, so anyways, with this married man, what info are they trying to get out of him?
Well, essentially, they see a tent in there and investigating. I think they've split up at this point. And again, I gotta tell you right now, because we mentioned this before. I'm not gonna get into the whole what we used to think, but I think David is more the Commissioner Gordon for this show, and I really like that.
What I brought up very vaguely in the first episode, which was stupid. Yes, don't get into that, please.
I think the reason I like David so much is that he reminds me of Jim Gordon, because he's basically their co-sheriffs. We find out. I didn't know they were co-sheriffs until this episode. That they're both the sheriffs of the town.
No, I agree. It leads to a really fun dynamic between the two of them. It leads to just David in general just being kind of the level-headed.
Yeah, the experience.
Yeah.
The experience guy.
Cool. Yeah, good analogy.
Right, so meanwhile, basically they happen upon the Merriman as he's camping out. They try to get some answers out of him. Pretty much says, "Oh man, it's like bloody sheriff." Essentially, he runs away. A chase ensues, and then David tackles.
Okay, you're a good sheriff, and so that doesn't mean that you. So that means that you wouldn't shoot me in the back.
That was a cool line. I like that. He basically said, you're a good sheriff. That means you won't shoot a man in the back. Runs away, and then David tackles him and says, "That's why we have two sheriffs."
Oh God, I love David in that moment. For sure.
I really did. The thing about the character development, we saw a little bit about him in the past. He's a good father. He wants to be a better father to Emma and to this new baby. He's got a lot going for him. He seems a lot like Jim Gordon too, because has a daughter. He's an older daughter. He's kind of trying to be a family man. A lot of good stuff going there. Anyway, so they capture him. They make him. They make the Merryman take them to because he has information on the Snow Queen. Basically, he says he has information about the Snow Queen. They lead him to an ice cream shop, to the Any Given Sunday place. He provides the lead there. I'm trying to think if we have something before we go there. Actually, okay, not yet. Anyway, meanwhile, so we go to Regina now. So they're on their way to the ice cream shop. Meanwhile, we go to Regina and Robin Hood.
Okay, yeah, and this is a scene where they're it's really kind of a nice, touching, poetic scene where they're going over just hey, yeah, that kiss, I'm not sure that Miriam is my true love. And then I love Regina's reaction to it, because she's just like, really? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like she's been so cold throughout this season so far, and to see her warm up like that was really nice. Really nice. Good touching character development.
This is an interesting I gotta say, this is an interesting situation, because the question of whether it is actually the individual curse thing, or if it is because she doesn't have a true love. Because think about how sad that is. That Robin Hood loves Regina. Of course, that's the situation in itself that he can't be with her because he's a man of honor, and he had Marion before then. Really, when you think about it, she was going to have Marion killed, all that stuff. But that's one situation. Here's a situation here that these two kids want to get together, and
those two crazy kids.
Yeah, these two crazy kids want to get together, and you feel bad for Marion, because Marion has nobody to wake her up because of that fact, because he doesn't love her anymore, and he feels bad for that. You got to feel.
Oh yeah, it's really deep, man. I like it.
It's a really good, interesting relationship dynamic there. Meanwhile, pretty much they say they're working on a solution, and they're speculating on what to do, and pretty much it looks hopeless. And I think Regina says, "Okay, I might have an idea." And we cut to the next scene, we're with Hook and Rumpelstiltskin.
Okay, and let's see. So this is where...
in the pawn shop.
In the pawn shop. Okay, so this is where Hook is threatening Rumpelstiltskin with the fact that he knows about the fake dagger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, all right. So what are the...
Pretty much says, first of all, I love how clever Hook is here. I really like that. And you got to remember that these two will have a long rivalry together, and Rumpelstiltskin's the one who cut his hand off. A lot of stuff there. He calls them crocodiles. We found out graciously by Thomas the Imagineer.
Yes, thank you, Thomas.
Calls him Croc. Essentially, from what I get from the recaps, he was kind of a bully to him, and then it was kind of the roles got reversed and stuff like that. So he's like a sick, twisted serial killer, has a fascination with Hook, and then just kind of forgot about him. They keep ruining each other's lives, pretty much. That's the recurring thing I gathered from it. Anyway, so the point is, so Hook says, my little crocodile, listen, I know you have. You gave Belle a fake dagger because I could tell you were lying, and also pretty much I can tell you're lying. He says, well, what if I'm not? Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ask. I can just ask her to summon you. And obviously, when it doesn't work, she's going to see that she does not have a real dagger when it doesn't summon you. Or it doesn't work, essentially. That's a really clever plan. Says, yeah, he's got to move her a barrel on that one. So pretty much he's blackmailing him into helping, and that's going to be a reoccurring thing, especially for our next episode.
I really like what comes of it in the next episode, but we'll definitely be getting into that with the next one.
So anyway, in the present, I'll just kind of start that whole relationship of favors and blackmail. That basically he asked him to help out with Elsa. Elsa walks in the shop, and pretty much Elsa has a piece of her hair because that's the thing. It's from Frozen too, like using like the white hair to get.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah,
giving a clue from like the white streak of hair because I like how they didn't. Basically, what's happening to Marion is what happened to Anna when she was struck in the heart.
Yeah. Okay, in a way. So basically, we're meant to assume that the Snow Queen froze the ice cream, and Marion eating the ice cream froze her, right? Mm-hmm. So that's basically kind of like an extreme full body version of brain freeze.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much of it is like if it does actually work like in Frozen where Anna got struck in the head, and pretty much the idea was like thankfully they got her to the rock trolls in time for them to get like that stuff out of her, because if it was a hit to the heart it would have been more instant and encroaching. Well, not more instant, but I mean it would be more deadly, more like irremovable. The implication with the head thing is that if it didn't get to her in time to get that stuff out of there, it would have just done the same thing as the heart did.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering if that's the reason it's not taking so long. I don't know if it directly affected her heart or not, because basically at the ending of this episode they kind of suggest that. I mean,
like the food would be like digested and go through her heart.
I'm just thinking like it went through her head first and then get into the body. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think it might just be the heart, to be honest with you. It's just the heart. It just affected the heart last, as it did with Anna.
Sure. Okay.
Anyway, the point is, they get like a streak of hair because that's kind of the indicator that you've been affected by an ice blast of some kind. Elsa has grabbed a hair. Rumple, he kind of plays our forensic role for the episode, where he kind of deduces that the magic.
He's the Riddler for the episode.
He essentially like crumples the hair or something. He does a magic spell on it, pretty much finding out that the hair's been affected by magic that is indeed not Elsa's. So he could almost exonerate her, almost. Pretty much confirms that that spell is not Elsa's, but it's more powerful. It's from someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he does a little spell. It pretty much turns into snowflakes. He's making some cracks about like how every magic's different. Saying, yeah, snowflakes. I get it. So what's the point? Pretty much, he unleashes and says, follow this. You're gonna find your culprit. And they do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So is this where the first Snow Queen encounter takes place?
Let's see. So they're following the Ice Queen via magic snowflake trays. Meanwhile, we see we see Snow White. We see Snow White's like putting the baby.
Right. This is a weird scene.
Yeah, Jimmy the Cricket's in the scene.
Oh, okay, that's Jiminy Cricket. Okay, I got it. Right on.
Yeah. What's that?
That was the only thing that was weird about it to me. It's like, I do not know who this guy is, and it's kind of making me uncomfortable. But no, the fact that it's Jiminy Cricket definitely makes more sense.
Makes it a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was just like, who is this guy that's just giving her, like, this weird advice? I don't know.
So what's happening here?
Okay, well, yeah, as you said, she's trying to fit this stroller in, and then, essentially, Jiminy Cricket, he's basically like, oh, you're overworking yourself, and then what other advice does he give her?
Yeah, pretty much he's
profound advice, right?
He does. He is pretty much being the role of conscience, what I really like. By the way, he sounds like a Jiminy Cricket. He sounds like he fits the role well. But pretty much, you can tell she's stressed out. She's doing like the classic thing when we all get angry, like she can't do this certain thing, like she can't put the stroller thing in the car. She's getting stressed out. Jiminy helps her out, I think. And pretty much, he says you're under a lot of pressure. Essentially, he tells her to let a lot of that pressure go.
Let it go, let it go.
Now, here's the thing. I can't quite recall if he literally phrases it like that. It might be a reference to letting it go. It may actually be a reference to that. What? No, I'm saying he might just I'm saying casually say "let it go" and maybe thematically hint like a thematic nod to Frozen is what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not quite sure. I think he said something along the lines of basically letting go the stress, so basically you can strengthen yourself through that. Yeah, which is good advice. Essentially, he gives really profound good advice, saying, you gotta let some of this tension and stress go, so you can be a stronger, better mare.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very sound advice indeed.
Okay, meanwhile, we're back with Emma, Dave, and the thief, and they're investigating the shop, and pretty much the revelation that we got at the ending of the last episode with through Grumpy is explored here. That the thief apparently broke in. Which, first of all, I love this little bit. It's such almost a Commissioner Gordon Batman moment where
really it's breaking in again is going to help your case. Really?
What?
Yeah.
Well, no, more so like he's breaking in. He's trying to pick the lock. He's mentioned like, I know how to pick a lock. Emma then picks the lock, and she says to Dave, "Well, I didn't learn everything from you." Because the idea, like, she was on the streets for a long. That's how she met Bellfire. She and he were street kids.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Anyway, so they get in there and pretty much the revelation from the ending of the last episode is when the power went out, the ice cream melted, and the idea is there's not a cooling system either turned on or in the place for the ice cream. How would it stay cool? They go into the back room. I love how
Grumpy's little observation becomes a major plot point.
Yeah, that's really cool. Literally. So they have him in the back room. Unfortunately, they don't wisely watch over the thief, but he'll be back. They go in the back room to see it is freezing. They say, "Oh, he was telling the truth." Then he escapes and he took the cash. Which I wonder how the Ice Queen feels about that. Like, oh man, I'm gonna freeze that guy to a popsicle, man. I wonder if she's angry about him stealing the money or not.
Oh no! How much money was in there?
I was saying it's a register. Like, how much do you think the ice cream store seems to be? It seems to be the only ice cream store in town. Remember, it's a small town.
Yeah, it's probably pulling in pretty decent business. Yeah, he probably got away with at least a few $100.
Yeah, I'm expecting like maybe max $300 to $400. Max. I'm saying that's absolute max.
All right.
Anyway, so the point is, let's see. So he takes the money out of the till and they say, okay, we'll get him later. He's not important right now. Let's see. Anyway, so in this scene also, after a little bit of frustration, after they see the frozen back room, Emma she doesn't break down. She kind of like really, she has some exasperation. Then David say, "Oh, what's wrong?" Basically, Emma's confessing she feels ineffective. Regina was right. I'm not. All this craziness is happening. The snow. I'm letting the small time thief get away. What's wrong with me?
Yeah, Regina really got in her head.
Yeah, I like that idea. Emma does feel ineffectual, and all this crazy stuff does happen. I don't know. Again, they could be pulling a Smallville here of like kind of replaying the record, so to speak. Of like it's maybe I don't know if she complains about this every season or not. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. I could be optimistically saying it doesn't do it. Like this is like kind of like the final story because apparently this season we're gonna find out later in this episode that this villain might tie into her more than usual.
Yeah, that's really confusing, but we'll get into all of it.
Oh, we'll definitely get into it. The point is, she feels ineffectual, and David kind of tries to reassure her that, hey, listen, it's normal, we deal with this stuff all the time, it's going to be fine. Gives some really fatherly good advice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're with Hook and Elsa and then the footage. They have some funny banter, and pretty much... sorry, I'm just trying to read my own thing here. Pretty much they have some fun banter going through the woods. Basically says Hook doesn't get the whole self-doubt that. Basically says the Hook that you don't get kind of the self-doubt Emma's feeling right because Hook thinks that she's distancing herself. Thinks that she's distancing herself because of other reasons because of him. Elsa's pretty much saying from experience that no, she's not doing it because of you. She's doing it because she's because she's yeah, because she's feeling a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah, it's very cool. I really like the way that they've integrated Elsa into the main cast now. Everyone's kind of comfortable with her. I like it. It's they're sort of setting up a status quo between Elsa and the rest of the characters.
I guess it's pretty much like her saying, I'm trying to remember this, so I don't know if you remember this better or not, but pretty much saying, pretty much relating it to I pretty much I freaked out and frozen, and pretty much I separated myself because I wanted to be alone. My sister kept going after me because my sister went after me because she blamed herself. Really, it was just me. It was all me, not her.
Yeah, exactly.
And perhaps maybe relating. I'm just speculating. Maybe relating to the whole Anna leaving currently in our story to help Elsa's self-esteem. So maybe she's kind of feeling regretful over that.
There's definitely some big mysteries that are going to pop up with that, but yeah.
Indeed, perhaps, but indeed, so perhaps it's also relating to that. So, point you give some advice. It's not just about you. It's because the job's kind of she's feeling self-doubt like the situation at hand. So she'll pull through essentially.
Indeed. Okay.
Meanwhile, let's see. They find a snowy culprit.
Yes, indeed.
There's a really funny phone gag. I really love this gag. That, again, I love how both of them are in the dark. Elsa more so. I just love that idea that Elsa's in this modern day and she's scared because she doesn't know what a lot of the stuff is.
Pretty much, it's her biggest obstacle out of everything. It's just like cell phones and cars and everything.
It's such a cool fan fiction-y idea of, okay, well, if these characters were in the real world, what would happen? She wouldn't know what any of this stuff is.
You know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like one of those movies like Thor, yeah. Or I was going to say Thor is putting it kindly. Oh God, like a movie like The Smurfs would be like a bad example of something
Indeed.
like that.
I guess it's like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Let's say Enchanted.
Enchanted, or Enchanted's probably I was going to say Rocky and Bullwinkle. Enchanted's the better way to go. Yeah.
That's kind of the direction they're kind of taking with it, but not in as over the top of a way as Enchanted did.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the logical. It's like the logical little thing. She thinks a car's like a monster or something coming at her, and then she basically Hook pulls out his phone and says, "I'm going to call Emma," and pretty much says, "Wait, what is that thing?" He says, I don't know. All I know is I push the button, it calls Emma. And then he does that. They basically let Emma know, okay, I found the Snow Queen. She's here in the forest. He does that, and then she doesn't answer. She says, "Why do I even use this bloody thing if you're never going to answer it?"
Oh man, that was fun.
Funny thing. And also, meanwhile, Elsa's she's fascinated by the Ice Queen here.
Mm-hmm.
And also, an interesting little thing here. I'm still not quite sure where they're going with this, but I think she's like a little hint of things to come. That Snow Queen, she made like a little ice sculpture of like a castle or something.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was interesting.
Still not sure where they're going with that. That's kind of it looked great. I'm just wondering like what they might be hinting at with that. Like she wants, I don't know what kingdom that is. I'm assuming maybe Arendelle, sorry.
It could be. Well, I mean, do you think she wants to take over Arendelle, or do you think she wants to take over Storybrooke?
It might have been. I couldn't tell if it was Storybrooke. It looked kind of like a kingdom, so I'm assuming it could be maybe what this land used to be. When there's Tan Forest is connected to a Snow White's kingdom, I guess.
Okay, so
I'm not sure. I'm speculating like what the castle was exactly. I guess people are rewatching. If anyone knows what the castle is about, it's it. Again, folks, we're jumping out of a plane on this one. Anyway.
All right.
Let's see. Okay, so then pretty much they're found by the Ice Queen. Ice Queen is freezing the Hook in his tracks, and this is really interesting. Yeah, what's happening in this scene, Tiki?
Well, basically in the scene, first of all, really impressive ice powers. Really good effects.
Oh yeah.
The Ice Queen, she basically has all these stalagmites that kind of come down. Threatening to come down on Hook, and then essentially, let's see what is she trying to blackmail Elsa with? Here's
the thing: we have some very interesting reveals here. There's some big plot reveals.
Yeah.
Let's go. That happens before basically the action happens. Before she puts Hook in danger, she says or maybe while I guess she says, Elsa. This is a big reveal that Elsa. Forgot the Snow Queen because apparently these two have met, which we definitely see in flashbacks. That these two have met before, and she's forgotten. I think she mentions because of the I'm pretty sure she mentions because of the rock trolls.
Yeah, because of the trolls, yeah.
So the trolls apparently wiped Elsa's mind, which we've seen them do in Frozen. Like the first few scenes in Frozen, they took Anna's memory away, so they can do this. So apparently, for some reason, they took Elsa's memory of the Snow Queen away. That's interesting. That's something to run with.
Well, I have some speculation about that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll save it for episode 5. Or episode
yes, sir. Indeed. Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Anna. Meanwhile, Anna, she also mentioned, here's the big thing, here's a huge thing. She mentions that Anna imprisoned Elsa. Now, we don't know if she's lying or not, but she's mentioning that Anna imprisoned Elsa.
It's really interesting. Again, I have some theories on the tip of my tongue that I really want to get into, but I'm not going to right now.
We might minorly speculate some stuff at the end. Maybe minorly, but we'll get into that later.
Minorly? Okay.
Like stuff that's not going to relate to the next episode is what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well.
Meanwhile, let's see. So the Ice Queen, the big thing the Ice Queen's trying to make the statement here after revealing these these big plot things is basically the Ice Queen is trying to not necessarily blackmail, but trying to teach Elsa to trust no one. It's really interesting that it's this twisted way she wants to help Elsa.
It's really dark. It's one of the darkest things I've seen on this show thus far.
She's basically teaching Elsa, basically you can trust no one, and in this paranoia, they're fearing you right now. And of course, it's all because of the frame-up going on. Mm-hmm. Basically, she's doing that to serve as a point that this would eventually happen even if I wasn't here. People, because they see your powers, are going to think you're a monster. And given the past and given the flashback, that's definitely true. They think, looks like it's going in that direction. People are fearing that that's the big plot crux of why Anna's going away, to prove that her sister is not a monster. The parents did not fear her.
Right.
That basically this paranoia will lead to her eventual end. Basically, I'm trying to save you by teaching you to trust no one. This is a hard lesson. I'm doing some rough stuff to you here, but it's to service that point, that you and I are similar and you can trust no one if you want to survive. Really interesting stuff. Then basically she puts Hook in danger. She's really trying to service the point, but essentially she's going to kill Hook and make it look like she did it, and really send her more down the rabbit hole. You can't trust me. We got to learn this the hard way, lady.
And it's like, I don't think Hook would be killed off at this point, but watching it, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of worried here.
Plus, the thing to remember, as far as I can tell, is that a lot of these characters, it might be kind of like a Marvel thing, or they could die and they could come back because of magic. Who knows?
Right. I mean, Heroes definitely pulled that a lot. So
from what I understand, again, the show does this weird thing where they take people's hearts away, and they apparently like Rumpelstiltskin apparently can die and come back because it's the dark one. It's a hard thing to explain. Anyway, so basically, then the things that were starting to come down on them, what happens?
So what happens is that our awesome character David comes in and saves the day. Yay, David!
Well, not just David.
No, not this David. Swan too, and she has her awesome line of "Hey, Dairy Queen."
I love that.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
All right, and then we have that moment where
David's chipping him out of there. David's saving Hook's life by chipping him out of there. I'm gonna blast him out of the way, I guess, in the nick of time.
And then we have that really cool moment where the Snow Queen seems to know of Swan for just a second.
Oh yeah.
And it really gets into Emma's head. And then what happens after that?
Let's see. We find that the snow. I keep saying ice or snow, so forgive me, folks. Snow Queen. I can't say Snow Queen because Elsa's the Snow Queen. The Queen.
We already talked about this BlueDragonFive. Elsa is Elsa, and then the Snow Queen is the Hans Christian Andersen Snow Queen. Elsa is from the Disney movie, so.
Yeah, no, it's just because I knew.
It's good.
Because I know she was originally supposed to be. Anyway, so the Snow Queen knows Emma, and pretty much after Hook's saved, Emma questions the Queen's knowledge about how do you know who I am, and essentially the implication I think is the Queen may be responsible for putting Elsa in the urn.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think here if there's pretty much Emma blasts her after she can't really get answers from her, blasts her to save the day, I guess, and then basically she disappears. And a theory going around is perhaps she's I can't remember if this is in the episode or not. I think it's just I'm just speculating right here. I guess that's I'm misreading my notes here. Yeah, I guess the Queen may have been responsible for the urn.
Yeah. I think something like that, right?
Yeah. Like, do you remember, like, she has any reference to the urn or not? Like, does she mention something about an urn?
Oh gosh, I don't know. This is kind of where not doing the flashback stuff kind of is tricky because we haven't even mentioned the urn yet from the flashback. So it's.
No, we mentioned it earlier in the pawn shop.
Oh yeah, right. Well, I don't know. No, I don't really remember much about it.
Anyway, so then we essentially the day is saved. David Hooker's safe. Emma's saved the day, but still has a lot of questions. So does Elsa, most assuredly has a lot of questions. I guess then we go to Robin Hood and Regina.
Okay, so Robin Hood and Regina. Oh God, is this just more relationship stuff or what?
Relationship stuff and some plot here. We first of all we see that. I forget if they phrase it like this exactly. Essentially, Regina says, a kiss can't solve all the problems in the world, which I think is a good line.
It is a good line, yeah.
Basically, true love's kiss can't solve all the problems.
If that was true, then every Disney movie would be like exactly the same. So.
Anyway, so then they come up with the temporary solutions to basically make sure she doesn't die. I guess pretty much make sure she doesn't die, I guess. I forget if it was exactly. I assumed life-threatening.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was life-threatening, yeah.
Making sure. So anyway, so Regina comes up because she can't really unfreeze her at this moment, so pretty much letting to starve off until she can find a way to unfreeze her. She has Henry puts off Operation Mongoose temporarily for basically find a solution for Marion here, and pretty much bringing this chest where we finally, and this is where I'm sure you and I are going to be completely lost. This whole thing, 'cause I still don't get how this works. I've seen in the recaps they've done this.
No idea.
I've seen this is like the Heroes territory. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get lost.
It's like Claire's blood on Heroes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Essentially, it's the thing in the recaps I've seen, like you reach in someone's heart, you get control of them or something. But essentially, what happens is Henry opens a box. She reaches in the heart, grabs it, examines it. Okay, well the heart hasn't pierced her heart yet. Puts it in a box. It's a little supernatural, I know, but it's a magic show. So puts the heart in the box, which apparently is fine because it's magic. And basically, so the body will be frozen, but they can fix when they unthaw the body and put the heart back, and she'll be fine. But right now she's an ice cube right now. So pretty much body's an ice cube, heart's still alive. She's okay, but she's like Nora Freeze. She'll be okay for that. We got to figure out a solution.
Right. Okay. So what's next?
Okay, we got like 2 bits left.
Okay.
Hook and Emma have a little moment. Pretty much, Hook apologizes, saying, "Hey, listen, I didn't understand. You're under a lot of pressure and stuff." And says, "Hey, what's wrong? Like, why can't?" Essentially, what's wrong? Emma says, she fears losing those who are close to her. That's the big revelation here.
Yeah, might I just say I really like the introduction of Hook in this episode. I mean, in this scene where Emma walks out of the restaurant and Hook's just there with a drink. It's like, "Hey, you gonna leave a man alone with a drink?" And then Emma's like, "I don't need a drink, and I definitely don't need a man."
Anyway, so basically, Hook's apologizing, basically saying, "Yeah, I understand you're under a lot of stuff," and then basically Emma stresses the point. The thing is about us. No, it's not about us exactly. Pretty much saying, it's not about. Essentially, she says it's not just about the work getting to me, like all this chaos happening, and why we can't be together. It's more so I fear losing you because I've lost everyone close to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is good. Essentially, like, do you remember how the scene exactly plays out towards the end of this, or?
No, not quite.
Like, does she? I'm just assuming that basically he comforts her, basically saying, listen, I'll be fine. I'm a pirate after all.
Well, that's basically how it plays out. He's like, you don't have to worry about me, love.
Essentially, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Then the ending. Here's a really cool kind of question mark ending for present stuff. So the Queen is meeting with Rumpelstiltskin.
Yes.
Very much saying that Emma still doesn't remember like what her connection is to Snow Queen, and raising some flags there.
Yeah, definitely, really getting into some interesting stuff.
And Rump essentially extends the deal, a deal and offer to her, basically. Okay, he's ready to make a deal or make an offer, and he says, "Not yet." Basically says, "I wait when you do."
Oh boy, yeah.
I think he makes a joke about the weather, saying, "Careful, I think it's good. I think it's a little cold out tonight, or something."
Yeah, it's a little
I
chilly.
can't.
It's a little chilly, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's our present stuff.
Okay, nice, nice. So overall, do you have any thoughts, or do you want to save your thoughts for the end of the show?
Yeah, let's save thoughts at the end of the show.
Okay, okay. So in the flashbacks, let's do it.
The really awesome stuff's in the flashbacks.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Basically, the stuff in the flashback, a lot of it is kind of stuff that you wanted to see in a Frozen sequel. So well done. There you go. Here it is.
Oh yeah, big time. This is exactly. I mentioned this in previous episodes. This is stuff I wanted to see. I want to see Elsa and Kristoff, see how they hit it off. Because I'm really interested by that dynamic. That apparently Elsa hasn't, pardon the pun, quite warmed up to Kristoff yet.
Yeah, and so this is basically just BlueDragonFive wish fulfillment right here. So thank you much for time for that.
Anyway, so let's see. Because those two characters didn't interact at all in the movie. I wanted to see that.
Right, yeah.
Basically, she gives him a job because she's the queen. Really, it's because of Anna's request.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's say so. We started off with Elsa and Kristoff. They're looking, looking for Anna. They're going over some plans in the not war room, but I guess kind of the living area of the castle.
Yeah.
Looks kind of like a war room. I'm not sure. So anyway, so Kristoff's
Bruce Wayne's sort of confined little living room / war room that he's got set up in Gotham.
Yeah, his war nook.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. Elsa and Kristoff, they're looking for Anna, and pretty much Kristoff reassures Elsa that, hey, listen, Elsa, you're worrying over nothing. Anna's safe. We know her. She can take care of herself. She's safe. She's probably just... Because I'm not sure how long she's been gone for. She said she'd be away 2 weeks. I'm assuming that she's been gone longer than that. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's my assumption. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been probably at least 3 weeks at this point. So red flags are kind of starting to come up.
Because we don't know, what they could be saying is that Anna's been gone longer than, or the Avengers we haven't seen yet. The reason Anna's, no, it'd have to be, yeah, actually, well, her Avengers that we have seen or are about to see in the next episode. The implication might be that they are going on for like a week or so after when she was supposed to be back.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got picked up on. But you're right. I don't think something explicitly says it, but
no, but I assume that's why Elsa's looking for like crazy. Because I assume she could maybe give the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know. Meanwhile, let's see. So I love the interplay between these two. It's in this whole flashback.
It's great.
It is really great. The point is, Elsa says, you're not going to stop me. I think she wants a search party and everything. Says, well, I can stop you. Saying, how's it? Basically, how are you going to stop me? Because I'm the queen. He says. And that's exactly the reason you have to stay, because you are the queen. And pretty much says, Anna was right. Logic and reason does work on you. Yeah, they got a great rapport going on. And pretty much, I think Elsa says, why is it whenever you compliment me, it's whenever you compliment me, it sounds like annoying or something. It sounds, I don't know. Not annoying. I guess because it bugs me. Pretty much says, why is it almost like a backhanded compliment when you compliment me?
Yeah, good stuff.
The point is they got a great, but I'm not doing it justice. They got a good rapport going on. Hans and they also mentioned Hans and his brothers are leading an army to invade. Which, by the way, I love how when he's reassuring her that Anna can take care of herself and pretty much the kingdom. She's been through a lot. She's been through this, through that, and dealing with that. Dealing with that idiot from the Southern Isles. Hans? Yeah, that guy. Idiot from the Southern Isles. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact that we do get to see him this episode, too.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but do you think he's dead?
No, I don't think he's dead.
You don't think he's dead? Okay, that's good. All right, well, anyways.
Let's see, so Hans and his brothers, they're leading the army to... It's mentioned by some snotty guard, by the way.
Yeah, he's like, come on, man.
The snotty guard comes in, he mentions that Hans and his brothers are leading an army to invade, which is not good for Arendelle.
No, not at all.
And Kristoff suggests, hey, listen, why don't you let me and Sven go gather some intel on these guys? And pretty much, then the snotty guard says, I'm sorry, I didn't know the ice messenger gave orders around here.
I'm just like, shut the hell up. He's Anna's fiance. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I mean, he's throwing out a suggestion, guys. Come on.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That guard was on screen for like 30 seconds, but that really bothered me.
I mean, he was a smart guard, but still, he's a little too smart, if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the snitty attitude.
Yeah. Anyway, so Kristoff wants to gather some intel. He's trying to convince the argument. Elsa says no. Basically, my sister comes back. She's gonna want our fiance, not her fiance dead.
Right.
Meanwhile, Kristoff and Sven screw up that order, and they go investigate. We see Hans and his many brothers, and we see the brothers. I like the little peek into the dynamic between Hans and his brothers. I'm really curious how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I hope we get to see a lot more from it, because it definitely was a promising start of this episode.
Oh yeah, we see the brothers essentially. We kind of get I thought the brothers were going to be much harsher. I'm just given where Frozen left off. Apparently they're not that harsh. They just really don't respect him. They did pretend he was invisible for a few years.
That's at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. They just have absolutely zero respect for him, and Hans is kind of like just working to earn that respect back.
Oh yeah.
Might I say, BlueDragonFive, the reveal of Hans, I would like. Oh my God, they have the look completely right, from the costume down to the sideburns and everything,
and the performance too. Basically, as we continually beat to death here, is that this show, oh my God, this show is the perfect Frozen continuation / kind of, I guess, fan fiction crossover, if you will.
Crossover.
I don't know. It's basically what if we did get an actual, honest to God, sequel to Frozen, but also crossed over with Once Upon a Time, essentially.
Right. Well, I mean, with the flashback stuff, I don't know. I guess the Anna flashback from last week did tie into Once Upon a Time.
Basically, it's just giving a reason to cross over Once Upon a Time in the flashbacks. But other than that, pretty much a straightforward sequel to Frozen, which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, essentially, we can say easily that the Elsa scenes, at least, have been pretty much just full-fledged Frozen sequel.
Oh yeah. So indeed, pretty much the costuming, the acting, the performances, it's all to a T. The characters brought to life, and it's astounding. You don't see that sort of thing done that well. It's like what you see in the comic book films a lot of the time. Just basically them getting, sometimes they'll get close, sometimes they'll be on the money. Like essentially, this is Robert Downey Jr. type casting for the show.
Yeah, I actually thought in terms of Prince Hans, it was kind of more. I just got the impression that was kind of like J.K. Simmons doing J. Jonah Jameson. Like that level of like, holy crap! It just looks straight off the page.
Yeah, he has the sideburns and everything. It looks right down to it. Anyway, so we see Hans's dynamic with his brothers, and essentially the brothers look down on him. He has delusions of grandeur, and they laugh, and I thought that was funny.
I'm going to be king, Rufflecopter.
Yeah, like they're getting more like, why don't you get some sticks before we I don't know, they say throw you into the fire. A little dark, mind you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things in this episode that were a little dark, but yeah.
you trust you'd be in your best interest to treat me nicely, because I'm going to be the future king of Arendelle. Hans, you silly guy. Count your eggs before they roost, huh? Anyway, so then Hans pretty much, he lays out the plan. Luckily, Kristoff is over somewhere watching safely. He sees that Hans pulls out an illustration of this magic urn that essentially he mentions will imprison Elsa.
It's not just an urn. It is a drawing of an urn. Pirates of the Caribbean reference.
Anyway.
It's not just a key. It is a drawing of a key.
Anyway, so you basically see the urn will sucker into the urn, and pretty much Arendelle will be ready for the taking, because their big power, basically their nuclear deterrent will be gone, and so will their leader too, because they don't have the Sir leader being Anna either, so Arendelle will be ripe for the taking if they get rid of Elsa.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, plus they could always use her as a bargaining chip too, basically saying you'll kill her if you guys cross us.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, let's see. Since Kristoff has obtained this information, he informs Elsa, and I love it. You gotta love how genuine, honest that Kristoff is. He pretty much says, "Okay, yeah, listen, I disobeyed yours. Punch me later, but listen, you gotta listen."
Yeah.
He's straight to the point, saying, "Yeah, I'll take whatever quote unquote punishment you got for me later, but listen, I gotta tell you this important information now." Pretty much says, he informs Anna that this magical urn, it's in a certain cave somewhere around the Southern Isles, I guess. No, not Southern Isles. It's around somewhere.
I think. Hold on, I have it in my notes somewhere. I think it's Where is it? The North Valley.
Yeah, North Valley. Essentially, the urn's in a
Great Valley.
the urn's in a cave around that valley.
Yes.
And essentially, Elsa wants to avoid war, so she insists that she and Crystal go on, not sending any soldiers, doesn't want to lose any lives. She just wants to put herself personally on the line, which I can tell you myself. I'm thinking with Crystal, that's a bad idea because you will get sucked in that thing if you go.
But yeah, I know, right? It is kind of
however,
risky.
It is kind of, you do kind of understand because Elsa, that she wants to put herself on, because she's the only one at risk here. But I guess she's not really thinking that the kingdom will definitely be at risk. I guess it's more Elsa just kind of still being a little. The point of this episode is that Elsa can be stubborn. It's not even just stubborn. It's like how she was in Frozen, pretty much. Like she's set in her ways, and it does cause a little bit of trouble.
Most definitely, it doesn't. It's not necessarily a negative character trait per se, but you're right. It's kind of an obstacle.
Yeah, I guess maybe psychologically on some level, it's like she wants to be the only one to. She's trained herself to suffer all these years, like being alone and stuff. That I guess she's not really realizing that she's more important than she actually is. I'm spitballing with that. Maybe that's the case. Mm-hmm. It's like she's still kind of getting over that block of, especially without her sister. Maybe without her sister, she's not making the rational decisions she normally would make. A bit of that too.
Right.
Anyways, the point is, like she says, to avoid losing a lot of manpower and trying to avoid a straight up war going on, she's gonna join this covert operation with Kristoff to get the urn because he knows where it is and basically stop the war. So let's see. Following that, so essentially we get team up. Two of those guys team up. Really fun. I love those two teaming up, by the way. Unfortunately, Sven is not along for the. Unfortunately, Sven is not along for the ride, but he's watching.
Oh, I'm still waiting for some Sven talk.
I'm for it. I haven't seen it yet.
You just don't. Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think it's kind of out of the question at this point?
I don't know. They did some funny stuff with them in the next episode. We'll get into more speculation later. Anyways, let's see. So Elsa's pondering over others having her powers.
Indeed.
Well, as they're journeying to the thing, Elsa's kind of pondering over if others have her powers, and Kristoff's kind of saying, magic or no magic, your family is understanding enough. Your family's understanding enough. Pretty much saying, like, she mentions, like, Kristoff, you were raised by trolls. You should understand. Essentially, he's saying.
Oh, I really like that point. I really like that whole dynamic that they have going on. Kristoff, he just sees like absolutely nothing out of the ordinary about being raised by trolls. He's just like, oh, yeah, they're family. What can I say?
It's a really poignant message that Kristoff said. Hey, listen.
It really is.
Yeah, essentially he's saying, hey, listen, you. Essentially, he's saying, look, it doesn't matter like how you're different in that sort of respect. Like, I was raised by trolls. You have your magic, but like, look at Anna. Anna loves us both the same. I mean, she loves us no matter what. And I'm saying that we're not different. We're still the same people we are. We just have these little quirks about us. Essentially, that's what he's saying. And essentially, I also think he's kind of maybe trying to reach on a level like, your parents probably didn't abandon you because of that, because they still saw the little girl. Maybe he's hinting at that too.
Right.
And the important message he's really getting across, this is very important, especially with the whole Elsa character, is that he's saying, you're never alone. Because you've got me, you've got Anna, you got the trolls. You're never alone. It doesn't matter.
It's a really good scene. It's really good.
She feels alone, and she's wondering if there are others with powers, so she could be not alone. So you're not alone. You have us.
Mm-hmm.
You got us, and we love you. Yeah, really, really, really nice. Basically, it's a never alone message, pretty much.
For sure. Really nice.
Also, then they get to like the edge of the cliff. He saves her from falling off for a brief bit. Really cool bit. I really love this bit.
Did we mention the whole bit about how they get to the edge of the cliff and Elsa's just like, oh, should I make an ice slide or a staircase?
And then Kristoff says, makes the point of no powers, because they're gonna. I'm sure Hans and his guys are gonna be looking out for. Will notice those powers a mile away.
Oh yeah.
We got to do it the old-fashioned way, since we got to climb it down.
Let's do something a little more rustic.
Oh yeah, that's what he says. Really good scene. Again, I love the dynamic those two have. And Kristoff's being the rational guy he was in the Frozen movie and playing off the person of Elsa.
No, really good. It's really good stuff here.
Yeah, I really love these two together. It's a fun dynamic. Meanwhile, let's see. So Elsa and Kristoff, they find the urn. Yay! Unfortunately, Elsa, she has like an Indiana Jones Last Crusade moment. she
My
won't.
God, the power that could be held in this thing.
Essentially, she sees the urn, but it has like some mystical writing on it. She's trying to read that again. If it's me, I'm thinking like it's Aladdin territory. Oh man, you touch this thing, like destroy it now before causing any trouble. Not literally with Aladdin. I'm saying
territory, like yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean like literally like destroy it. I'm saying like if it's a thing that's dangerous and it's starting to do stuff, you want to get rid of that thing instantly. I'm saying it's like a thing that's activated by rubbing or it's touching the thing.
Right.
Sorry, bad comparison. Anyway,
no.
So essentially, Elsa won't destroy because it has some writing. It's feeding into that curiosity she has. Like, if there are others with powers, like, why else would this thing exist unless it contained people with powers and stuff? So she won't destroy it, and unfortunately, it's too late before she realizes, yeah, you probably should destroy this. When Hans and his brotherly company stops by, and they hold a.
It's his brothers. Well, 4 of them, anyways.
And first of all, we got a really cool action sequence.
Oh yeah, really nice.
Oh, actually, before that, a very poignant moment. This is very important. Elsa literally says she doesn't trust Kristoff. Despite them getting off on a good foot now, starting to get off on a good foot, she's still at the bottom of it. She sees like a little inkling to her past, and the reason she doesn't destroy it, like Kristoff says, trust me, you want to get rid of that thing now. So, I don't trust you.
Sure.
That was kind of a heartbreaking moment, to be honest with you. Like, oh.
Come on, Elsa.
Because think about it, Elsa would have trust issues. She's been isolated all these years, and really the only person she trusts is her sister.
Oh yeah.
So that's interesting. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much it's kind of showing that they might be getting along right now, but they're still at the core of it. Elsa does not trust Kristoff at this point just yet, and that's again all that going on. Hans and the gang, they attack. We got a really cool action sequence of homage to the Frozen movie.
For sure.
Literal homage.
Like, popping out.
Yep, and here's an interesting thing I noticed. When she's making the ice man to distract, not distracting, but to repel them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's launching these ice spikes from the ground.
Sure.
You'll notice they are yellow in color. Now, I'm wondering if it's actually a lighting thing or because this thing in the movie Frozen, I just thought it was like a lighting thing because the almost bioluminescent colors of the different refractions of the ice in the palace cause those yellow colors. Because she has like a giant yellow chandelier in that thing, pretty much.
That's true. Interesting.
And here, however, there is no ice palace surrounding her, and yet they're still yellow. The cave had a little bit of lighting, but I don't know if it'd be that light. The light would be that strong to cause the thing to be yellow. So I'm wondering if she's somehow causing the refraction by itself.
Right. Yeah. No. Good observation there. I never would have caught that.
I'm wondering. It's kind of like in Avatar. There was this bit. I know it sounds completely unrelated, but follow me on this. It's in Avatar: Last Airbender. There's this bit where essentially we see Zuko learning a specific type of fire bending. Essentially, he sees all the different colors you can make with fire. So I'm wondering maybe that sort of principle might apply with ice. Anyway, small thing. Point is, the ice is yellow, and it definitely reminded me of the movie. And literally, they copy some of the bits from the fight. With she makes the ice point to a guy's neck almost.
Yeah, that's very much on point with the film for sure.
We see Kristoff really taking care of business, which is awesome. And he's fighting those brothers, and Kristoff's awesome. And unfortunately,
actually, Kristoff is really, really good here. I mean, of course, with everyone else, it's a recurring thing. They're all good, but.
And unfortunately, as good as Kristoff is, he can't take a surprise attack, and basically Hans puts the sword in a really bad place in terms of, or you can have a sword placed right in between, not in between the shoulder blades, right to the base of the neck.
Oh yeah.
Not a good place at all to have the sword planted. The point is, Kristoff is now being held hostage, and Elsa still has not destroyed the urn. She cannot destroy the urn at this point. We see Hans and Kristoff have some really funny banter. Pretty much saying, so this is who she's basically hand over the urn, or don't destroy the urn, or I'm going to kill Anna's husband. basically says, oh yeah, well, or the future, what was it? I was gonna say, like, he doesn't say like future Prince of Arendelle, does he? Like the future in-law, I don't know, what does he say? Oh, yes, your future in-law, or I guess your in-law.
Well, technically, we're not in-laws yet because me and Anna aren't married.
Yeah, that's what he says. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hans just doesn't have any.
That's a bit about. Let's see. What's he say? It's like.
Well, then it basically says, "Oh, I'm a much better pick. I'm surprised she settled for you." So, well, I didn't try to kill her. I just left her for dead. All right, that's
yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, really good banter between those guys. I love the end. Of course, like Hans just undercutting it by trying to like poking the thing a little close to Kristoff's neck.
Right.
So meanwhile, it just ends up in kind of a bargain. Pretty much, I'll spare his life, but I'll spare his life. You toss over the urn, and pretty much, assumedly, I'm going to use that urn on you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love It's a really good dynamic. I just love the situation here. This is something I would expect in a Frozen 2. Most definitely. This story pretty much is.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It is kind of like pretty much like a Frozen 2.5 an hour without any of the Anna stuff that would be going on.
This is the most Frozen sequel-y stuff we've gotten yet. And the first episode had a lot of it too, but this is pretty much the most sequel-y territory we've gotten in Frozen yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where, let's see, sorry. Let's see, so Elsa, apparently, basically Kristoff saying, no, and Kristoff being the logical guy here, he's saying, listen, the kingdom needs you, okay? Just forget me, don't give him that urn, because he's going to suck you in there, the kingdom's going to go under, and it's going to be terrible. Elsa, on the other hand, now says, you see Elsa kind of come around Kristoff in this moment, basically saying, Kristoff, I was wrong not to trust you earlier, I do now, and I'm trusting you with this, and basically, this is really good. Elsa's just pleading, she's expecting. She only has one option here. She's gonna save Chris because now she likes the guy. Now she's fully. Well, I don't know how fully, but now she's starting to embrace him. Now she's become buddies with him.
Team Kristoff.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a dynamic. Yeah, good dynamic going. Pretty much, she says, "Listen, I'm trusting. That's why I need to trust you, Kristoff. Listen, find Anna. Okay, I'm gonna be sucked in. She knows she's gonna get sucked in that thing. Find Anna and save the kingdom. It's a really dark situation. She knows." Because I made this mistake, because I didn't trust you. The kingdom's gonna fall because of that. But here's what you gotta do, Kristoff. I'm trusting you. Find my sister. Save the kingdom. It's kind of like a before the camera goes staticky moment. Like when you're like a save me message, like a Wall-E type message.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do not return to Earth. So essentially, it's a really dark situation. I was on the edge of my seat saying, "Oh my God, this is how she ends up in the urn." I was thinking like, oh no, she was gone much longer than I thought.
Well, I mean, we keep making the fact that these flashbacks do take place, as they say, many years ago. So, that is an interesting thing to keep note of.
Yeah, because the men, you got to remember, this is before the formation of the whole Once Upon a, even the original fairy tale for Once Upon a Time, the original Snow White.
Yeah.
Remember when Anna's talking to Prince Charming? He still is before he's even become Prince Charming yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point, for sure.
So again, we're way back in time here. Let's see.
Across the sea of Once Upon a Time, but much better and much longer. Yeah. Lost reference.
So anyway, Hans has a whole ironic speech about not belonging.
Right.
Pretty much because he doesn't belong himself. He doesn't belong himself. He's saying basically, you don't belong. You don't belong anywhere. And then of course he makes the speech at the worst possible time because my favorite bit in the episode, my favorite Kristoff line, is So essentially, after Hans gives his dramatic, okay, well, yeah, you're a monster, no one's going to accept you speech. He opens the thing expecting her to be sucked in or whatever, and now we see. And I was on the edge of my seat thinking, oh no, she's going to the liquid's going to consume her.
Oh yeah.
Basically, opens the urn, liquid's going towards her. I'm thinking, oh man, it's going to do the Man of Steel thing. It's going to liquefy her and put her in the thing.
Like some Han Solo shit was going.
Yeah. So almost like if she could be frozen carbonite, then get sucked in the bottle. It's like a bit of a Han Solo thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically I'm expecting that, but then I was so surprised when it went to the side, and it's starting to form a whole new character. And then, oh my God, it's the Snow Queen. And then my favorite line of the episode is when again Kristoff does what he does best, infuses a little logic here, and he says, just casually to the brother and to Hans, seriously, no one checked this. No one checked if it was empty. No one checked if it was empty.
Come on, guys. Come on. Keep on top of this.
So then we get a Hansicle after the Snow Queen is not pleased with what he said, saying, basically, I guess she's not the only monster. I forget exactly what she... Do you remember exactly what she says here?
No.
Eventually he's saying something along the lines of, I guess, basically, she's not happy about what he said about being monsters, and basically, I guess, his monster has a friend. Something along those lines. I'm butchering. I can't recall. It's been a while.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Mind you, folks, it's been an additional week, so I'm a little less sharp on this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the same way for me, too, so... Okay, let me see. She says... Yeah, she's basically just upset about Hans calling Elsa a monster.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much, she turns Hans into a Hansicle, or a Hans... Hey, it's like Han Solo, think about it. Freezes him. I never thought of that.
Cool.
Turns
oh wow. Oh.
Turns Hans of the Southern Oz into a Hansicle.
Now I want to turn that into our thumbnail. Hansicle. Oh, that could.
Hey, it ties into the ice cream theme. Yeah, it ties into the ice cream.
It does. It does.
Get your Hansicle.
Much more so than Pickles ties into Gotham.
Get your Hansicle here, Hansicle. Can I get your Hansicle? And anyways, the point is, so Hans is...
You gotta try those pickles. You gotta fucking try those pickles, Jim.
Right. So he turns after Hans is frozen, his brother's less than showing some concern and like fighting for his honor. They're doing the smart thing and getting out of there. They're running out of there. There's a really nice little bit. It's a heartwarming bit. Call it cheesy, call it silly if you may, but I'm touched by this moment. It's a moment where like you think. Kristoff's like coming towards Elsa, and then pretty much the Snow Queen's about to freeze him, saying, "Hold it, and pretty much Elsa says, "No, he's a friend."
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Basically, says Kristoff, no, Kristoff's my friend.
Kind of rounding off the whole character arc they have.
Yeah, it's like the classic story you would have in a movie, like the in-laws getting to know getting along with each other.
Oh my God!
Or in this case, the future in-laws getting to know each other. And I really love that because I was always curious like how they're.
Great.
Yeah, I was interested how they're gonna go with that. It really won me over like how they bonded these two. I really like that.
For sure.
Okay. Meanwhile, let's see. So essentially, Elsa's got a new ice buddy. Yay!
Yay! New ice friend. Hooray!
Yeah, I love just Elsa's really happy here. She gets what she wanted. She wanted to know if like there were other people with her powers, and she found like, yay, hey, and like we rarely see Elsa really happy when you think about it. And aside from sharing a love for chocolate, there doesn't really have that many happy moments in Frozen.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, and of course her whole song of letting it go. But besides that.
Well, yeah.
Point is basically, I love that she's walking down the hallway with the Snow Queen, pretty much like chit chatting about.
Did you ever bring a snowman to life?
Yeah. Did you ever build a snowman?
I wish that they would have just straight up incorporated a line like, "Oh, well, how about right now? Do you want to build a snowman?"
Well, they're doing. Well, we'll get into that next episode, but they do something like that, and they're hinting about doing something like that, the line like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Anyway, so let's see. They do also like a funny line, like, "Did you ever build an ice palace?" And oh yeah, I did. It's still. They said no, I didn't. So yeah, I built an ice palace. It's still around, which I'm tickled by that. Oh, she still has the ice palace. It's neat.
We need to see that in live action, of course. Like,
that'd be cool.
To go there now.
And some speculation that maybe she was looking over the ice castle. It looked a little bit like the ice castle actually when she was looking in the forest.
Right? Yeah, indeed.
I'm saying it was the same. It was like the same darkish blue color, I guess, as the ice castle.
Definitely not something there. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Anyways, let's see. So essentially, it's revealed, like, they're looking at the picture of the parents, and this is a really kind of sad scene, I gotta tell you. That the Ice Queen, the Snow Queen, finds out that basically, first of all, she says, the Queen was her sister, which I gotta tell you, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It adds a whole new dynamic to the whole
thing. Because think about it. Okay, so on an Elsa, their dynamic, human sister, sister with the ice powers, and that apparently might be genetic, kind of genetic. Where,
hate to say it, but it kind of gives it a little bit of a Harry Potter kind of feel. You know what I mean? Where it's like you have the one side where it's like totally not magical and wanting to conceal the magic, and then the person on the other side, which of course would be Lily Potter in this instance, would be all for the magic. So I kind of got that comparison there.
Well, think about the implication. The implication is really neat to think about that. Oh, so Elsa in this moment she finds out. Oh my God! I'm not a monster. It's a genetic thing. At least I'm not the only monster. At least it's not my fault. I mean, I'm not the abomination that might have killed my parents indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, this is a big boost for Elsa. First of all, she has someone to relate to, someone who knew her mom, who she had the bond with presumably for years, but not that many years because she was assumably they were, if not petrified with fear, they were always looking for a solution. They were always keeping her hidden. So you can get a lot.
Definitely.
I assume she didn't get a lot of time to bond with her parents.
We've made a lot of points on this YouTube channel over the year or so that we've been around about how Elsa's parents, as cool of characters as they were, especially the father, because Maurice LaMarche is always awesome, but
they weren't the best. They weren't the best characters.
Yeah, they weren't the best role models. Yeah.
And to be fair,
they didn't have the best character advice.
My only defense for the parents, and particularly the father, would be that it's kind of like the Man of Steel excuse, that they're in a situation where they don't really know the answers to it. It's a tough situation. You got to make some tough calls, and I guess they just
excuse, as in don't even bring that up with me because I have so many problems with podcasts.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying that it's like on the whole, a lot of this problem, the Man of Steel are kind of summed up with this excuse, but let's not mention it.
Yeah. Let's not open that.
The point is, it's kind of the excuse that pretty much you're in a tough situation. You can't really make you're not really thinking things through because you're if not caught by the stress situation. It's more so it's a tough situation being you can't really think of a good way out of it. So you're just doing what you're in over your head thinking about what you can do.
Sure.
So pretty much they're thinking, okay, I'm doing what's best for my kid, but I can't really just think of the proper solution is, and it's not exactly their fault. It's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's my only defense, really, for the parents. But otherwise, yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay. Well,
the point is, it's not a wise thing, but they couldn't really think of anything better at the moment, I guess. So they're not Timmy Turner level neglectful.
Oh dear God. Oh dear. Oh, that is just straight up child abuse. So no, they are not that far.
Exactly. So, yeah, at least they're trying. They're just doing the wrong things.
Right. All right. Well, anyways,
the point is. Right. So let's see. So essentially, the big reveal is that she was the Queen's sister, and that was a really heartbreaking scene where he basically revealed that they died. They died at sea.
Oh.
Oh, that was, and basically she expected. I wonder where is my sister anyway. And think about what that means for us. Think about how that connects to Elsa right now. She's worried to death about her sister.
Oh, and yeah. Absolutely.
Telling someone that their sister is dead, has been dead, and they don't even know it. Someone who's similar to her, in fact, someone with the ice powers. Just imagine how much that hurts her.
Yeah, crushing.
Yeah, definitely. And also, she mentions the important plot detail revealed about the Snow Queen here is that basically there was a painful history in there. Pretty much that's why you didn't hear about me, because it was I assume kind of a similar situation with Elsa, which kind of raises some questions, like maybe that's another reason they weren't sure really how to do things. Maybe things were handled even worse. We don't know if the king knew or not. What the mother might have been feeling. Whether how the mother dealt with having a sister with these powers, and essentially,
for sure.
And essentially, just mentioning it's a painful history, and again, that might also inform why she's that might also inform why in the present she's being so hard on to deliver that lesson to Elsa, of why these people will turn on you. So perhaps the implication being the parents, at least the sister, turned on her in the end. So did something that really hurt her.
No, you're right. She's absolutely going out of her way to do, to prove that point. So yeah, I think you're kind of right on the money there.
Yeah. So my prediction, perhaps, and get a little speculation. This is literally the last bit of the flashback here, is that Perhaps the implication here is that her sister betrayed her. At least she feels that her sister betrayed her. Kind of like a reverse Anna, and that basically she wasn't there for her in the moment of crisis, and then she just feel like she was abandoned there, left alone because she feels that she was a monster, at least thought to be a monster. Maybe in actuality they were just separated, and she thought that for the wrong reasons, and the other one was just too ashamed to ever bring it up to anybody. And imagines the horror that Elsa's mother must have felt, like, oh my God, she's like my sister. Her life is going to be so hard, so terrible. She has a sister too, just like me. It's like it cycles repeating over and over again. It's just terrible. I have to find a solution. That's why she insisted on writing that letter, I guess, in the opening to our season here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's spot on. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, they haven't found that letter yet.
No, yeah, you're right. The first scene of the season, and it's still kind of just literally it's floating out at sea. So
yeah, that's something I just thought about. I just thought about that just now. Yeah, maybe there's a resolution to like the whole dilemma there. That's the big clue we're waiting for. That's gonna be like, I assume, gonna be like the Lemony Snicket letter, where it's them. It's like the parents' letter, basically saying, no. Again, I'm just predicting. We're in prediction mode, which is where we're gonna close out.
Is this Lemony Snicket spoilers?
Well, no, I'm not going to spoil. I'm just going to say what this is.
Okay, good, because I don't want Lemony Snicket spoilers, because I actually intend on going back and reading the rest of those.
Yeah. Well, no, regardless, it wouldn't have been a spoiler. It's just,
just making sure.
I'm talking about like the movie Lemony Snicket.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But like the point is, maybe it'll be a letter that just kind of explains that no, we didn't leave for the reason you think. We didn't leave to abandon. We left because we love you. I'm assuming that's the only way I can think they could maybe go with it to make it still all well. But they could go a darker direction. I don't know. Just speculating.
I would assume that your first theory there would be kind of where they're going, just because I don't know. Like, I don't know how dark they actually want to take it. I don't think that in the end, what we're supposed to take out of this whole message is that Elsa was someone who was meant to be feared, because obviously that would contradict the entire first movie. So, yeah, I think you're kind of spot on. I think we're going to see some sort of revelation like that where the parents turn out to be not so bad.
And basically, the last bit we end up in the flashback is that they say, well, bonding over this moment. Then basically, like Snow Queen turns to Elsa and says, "We'll find Anna together."
Indeed.
Good moment to end on. And anything else we want to speculate on real quick that's not going to be related to our next episode?
No, I don't have anything unless you have something you want to bring up.
No, we kind of speculate on the ice castle already. Maybe it's the one from, maybe it's actually Elsa's ice castle. Anything to speculate on, like how, yeah, we can speculate on Emma's relation next episode. Let me try to think if there's anything else here real quick. Just looking at our characters here.
Well, I guess the one big question right now is, what are the circumstances that lead to Elsa getting her memories wiped?
Oh, right.
Why doesn't she remember the Snow Queen? Like, that's the big kind of takeaway here.
No, I'm thinking more like that. That's something we can. The Emma Snow Queen thing we can save for another thing. I'm thinking more so like the idea of like Anna being the one that put her in the urn.
Oh yeah, what do you think about that?
So man, that's still a big
Okay, here's how I think it could go down, because
like how Elsa lost her memories, like why the trolls would have removed her memories and Anna putting her in the thing. That's the big question. That's the big thing.
What if Elsa just freaks out about the news about the parents and she just goes into whole I'm gonna cause another eternal winter mode, and Anna just doesn't have a choice. You think Anna would go to that? I mean, shoot, it's a powerful idea if she does.
Well, actually, the more we're talking about this, I guess I'll touch on it real briefly, because and I'm thinking that is really more next episode territory.
Oh yeah,
I guess just speculating, I think the thing about Anna imprisoning Elsa, if that is true, again, we don't know if that's true or not. She might be lying to her to serve as that point. So again, we have an unreliable narrator situation, which is a really cool thing we have with three of our main.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have three main bad guys who do that same thing. Think about it. Rumple, especially next episode. Next episode, Rumple's going to be a big unreliable narrator.
Next episode is great. Oh my god.
Unreliable narrator there. Regina, she's playing sides a lot.
Of course. The cider role.
Indeed, and of course right now with the snow so we got 3 characters that kind of do that a lot. So they're unreliable. So I'm assuming maybe she's kind of following that mold. Maybe she's stretching the truth here and there. Again, we're not quite sure, but maybe on in prisons also whatever they're gonna do with that, I'm sure it's gonna relate to the past of like maybe that's why she feels betrayed by her sister. Or I'm speculating that she's betrayed by her sister. So maybe it relates to that.
Of course, we've got some questions that were brought up at the end of episode 4, but we'll get to that.
Indeed. So I think that's enough for this go around. Is there anything else you want to speak about real quick?
No. Go ahead and do the outro.
Sure. So folks, it's that time yet again. It's time to close the book on this one for now. Until we get to the next chapter of our Frozen continuation, yet another thrilling installment of Once Upon a Time.
Frozen. Over. Yeah, and just really quick, don't forget, if you guys are watching and we're messing up any sort of details, just leave a comment. I will make room for you guys in the show to shout you out if you comment and correct us, because that is one of those things that we're really kind of hoping for, because we don't know what the hell we're doing. So, all right, with that in mind, Once Upon a Time, Frozen, over. All right, see you guys next episode.